Hi, this is Yuri Elkaim from TotalWellnessCleanse.com. Today we're going to be talking about a subject that not a lot of people like to talk about, and that is constipation. Now the reason we're going to be talking about constipation is because obviously you've searched for this and you need answers to how to end constipation for good. And that's what we're going to talk about today, and it's very important because constipation is a serious problem, and it can lead to a number of health consequences. But first, let's define what constipation is. See, the traditional medical approach to constipation, they think that being regular means going to the bathroom, having a bowel movement once every 2 to 3 days. Now, unfortunately, in the natural health field, as a natural healthcare practitioner, we know that having 2 to 3 bowel movements a day is what's considered regular. So if you're going to the bathroom once every 2 or 3 days, you, my friend, are most likely constipated. And if you're not going to the bathroom 2 to 3 times a day, that is something that needs to be improved upon as well. So let's look at what causes constipation. Why do we get backed up? Well, there's a number of kind of emotional and there's kind of that emotional side of the game as well. But we're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about physically, physiologically, what's happening, what are we doing to our body through the foods that we're eating and our lifestyle. And that's what we're going to talk about. So first thing we want to look at are some of the factors that cause constipation. And a little acronym that you can remember is called CRAP. How fitting. So CRAP refers to coffee, refined sugars and starches, alcohol, and processed foods. See, North Americans and pretty much all Westerners eat way too many of those foods. As a result, they irritate the colon, they irritate the small intestines, they irritate the digestive system. And our digestive system doesn't work properly anymore to effectively deal with the foods that we need to eliminate, right? The whole process of elimination is to be able to, we take our foods in, our body takes whatever nutrients it needs from the foods and it eliminates the waste. Now that doesn't happen in a lot of cases because we are stressing our system. And as a result, over time, over years, for instance, we suppress the urge to go to the bathroom because, we're on a tight schedule, we have to be in class, we have to be at work, or we're traveling. All of this over time builds up and tells our body to shut down the eliminatory process. Another example, our body is in elimination mode from roughly 4 a.m. till noon. And a lot of people talk about having a big breakfast first thing in the morning because it gives you plenty of energy and it gets your day started. But here's the dilemma. Our body is in elimination mode during this time. So if we overindulge in foods, if we have a lot of food early on in the day, that slows our elimination even further because that energy is supposed to be on elimination, not on intoxication. I hope that makes sense. So the goal is to remove foods that irritate your digestive system, right? So that CRAP synonym, the acronym. So the coffee, the refined sugars and starches, the alcohol, and the processed foods, right? All that stuff has to be removed and minimized to really improve your function from a bowel perspective. Now, there are other factors, again, the spiritual and psycho-emotional stuff that we won't get into, but let's talk about how we can before we get into how we can overcome it, let's talk about the problems with constipation and why it's dangerous. Now, there's a lot of, I can go on for hours and hours about this, but really what it comes down to is that if waste is not leaving your body, it's staying in your body, right? I hope that makes sense, because another way of looking at it is, imagine you're in your home, and instead of taking your garbage out of your house, you just piled up garbage bags upon garbage bags upon garbage bags upon garbage bags. Now, I can, probably you could get by after, with a day or two of this, but try doing this for a couple of weeks, try doing this for a couple of months, try doing this for a couple of years. How do you think your house is going to smell? Do you think that might provide a breeding ground for bacteria, mold, maybe even some rodents, right? Most likely it's going to become a very inhospitable environment to live in. And that's the case. That's exactly what's happening in your body as well. If you don't eliminate your waste, it's building up, right? It's basically staying in your colon. In some cases, it'll actually impact on the lumen, which is the inside lining of the large intestine or small intestine even, and it'll actually stick in there like gum. And this has been seen, if you've ever had a colonoscopy or if you've ever gone for a colon cleanse, hydrotherapy, you can actually remove this plaque, as it becomes known as, right through getting it out of the colon. I mean, it's years and years that this stuff is built up. It sticks in there. So we need to eliminate the waste. The problem is that if the waste sits in there, what happens is a process called auto-intoxication, which is, again, waste expels toxins, right? So one of the ways we intoxicate ourselves, obviously through the foods we eat, the chemicals we bring in, but there's also endogenous toxin creation, and that's known as auto-intoxication, whereby our waste, right, for instance, our feces that are not removed from the body, create toxins that go back into the bloodstream as they seep through the intestinal walls, and we have problems, right? So as this occurs over time, and this has been related to a number of issues, from heart disease to autoimmune issues to, you name it, auto-intoxication puts toxins back into your body. Toxins will build up over time in the fatty tissue, including the brain and central nervous system, potentially leading to those type of nervous system issues. For instance, it could be fibromyalgia, it could be multiple sclerosis, you name it. There's associations with auto-intoxication. So the importance of proper elimination cannot be undermined, right? So the problem is big. Now, in order to end constipation, it's a fairly simple process. Now, the first thing I would recommend is you need to engage in a proper colon cleansing program. And I'm not talking about taking laxatives that purge, all the stuff out of your colon and really irritate it. Things like senna, for instance. Very common laxative, purgative type of herb that people use. And how it basically affects the colon is that it irritates the colon so that the colon kind of goes into spasm and ejects everything out, right? Now, that's not really training your colon, it's not really improving the health of your digestive system over time. And that's the goal, is that you want to improve the integrity, right, of the intestinal walls, and you also want to improve the function of your intestinal and digestive system, right? This is not accomplished with quick fixes or things that make you go to the bathroom, make you pulling over the car, running to the quickest gas station to go to the bathroom. Stuff like that does not work. You need to remove the stressors from your diet and lifestyle and improve the quality and function of your internal organs in the digestive and intestinal system specifically, right? One of the simple things you can do, right, we talked about removing the crap, right? Obviously you have to increase your water intake, right? Constipation a lot of times is simply the fact that there's not enough fluid to move the bowel or the bowel through the large intestine, right? So improving your water intake is huge. It's a must. Another thing that you need to do in conjunction with that is increase your fiber intake. You need to have more fiber in your diet, and it has to be a healthy combination of insoluble to soluble fiber. A lot of people take psyllium fiber, for instance, but the problem with psyllium is that it's 100% soluble, which means that it just soaks up water, and a lot of people who take psyllium fiber actually become more constipated because everything just sits in the colon. It actually takes water away and impacts all that feces in that bowel right into the colon. Nothing moves because it's just absorbing water, right? So you need a healthy combination of insoluble and soluble fiber. Flax seeds, ground flax seeds are a great option, right? Very healthy combination of soluble and insoluble fiber, and the omega-3s that are obviously important for lubrication, right? So essential fatty acids are very helpful as well. So the goal ultimately is you need to retrain your digestive and intestinal system. Now, the best way to do that is to engage in a proper and guided cleansing program that will not only rid your body of toxins and stresses, but actually improve the function of your internal organs. And that's what the Total Wellness Cleanse is all about. If you want more information, go to totalwellnesscleanse.com/preview.html. The website is right here. And you can actually sign up for a free 8-part e-course called The Toxic Side of Food. And we actually talk a lot more about this topic of constipation in that e-course because it is so important. But for now, I'll leave you there. So this is Uriel Kane from Total Wellness Cleanse. Be sure to get your free e-course. Do it now, and I will see you very soon.